If your cat reaches out and gently places their paw on you, do you actually know what they're trying to say? Yes, it's adorable. It feels like a soft, quiet moment of connection. But behind that simple touch, there's something deeper that most people miss. It's one of the most emotionally loaded things your cat can do, and if you ignore it or respond the wrong way, which most owners do, you might be pushing them away without even realizing it. Let's start with what that gentle reach really means. Have you ever been sitting still and suddenly your cat stretches out a paw and rests it on your arm, almost like they're checking if you're really there? Most people think it's just affection, a cute little habit, a random gesture, but here's what's actually happening. Your cat is testing safety in real time. Cats are naturally cautious animals. Every interaction they initiate carries a small risk. That gentle reach isn't casual, it's deliberate. They're placing themselves in a vulnerable position, extending part of their body toward you while watching how you respond. If you stay calm, relaxed and still, their brain registers you as safe. If you move too fast, pull away, or ignore them completely, it creates uncertainty. Think about that for a second. That tiny moment? It's a live trust evaluation. And by the way, if your cat ever reaches out and then slowly withdraws when you don't respond, don't brush it off. We'll get to what that really means at the end, and it's something most owners wish they'd understood sooner. What this reveals is simple, but powerful. Your cat isn't just touching you. They're asking, "Can I trust you right now?" Have you ever noticed how your cat doesn't always demand attention like a dog might, but instead quietly reaches out? You might assume they're being subtle, independent, maybe even indifferent. But here's what's actually happening. A 2020 study from the University of Sussex found that cats use physical gestures like pawing and gentle touching as intentional communication signals, especially with humans they trust. They don't just touch randomly, they choose when and who. And more importantly, animal cognition research shows that cats form attachment bonds similar to infants. But instead of crying or calling out, they use softer, quieter signals. That paw on your arm? It's their version of saying, "I want connection, but on terms that feel safe to me." Think about that for a second. They're reaching out in the only way their instincts allow. Controlled, measured, and careful. What makes this even more meaningful is that your response directly affects how safe they feel in future interactions. If you respond gently, they lean in more. If you dismiss it, they learn to hold back. So when your cat reaches out like that, they're not being passive. They're choosing connection with you. Have you ever felt your cat's paw linger just a little longer, like they don't want to let go? Most people think it's just contact, just a touch. But here's what's actually happening. Cats have scent glands in their paws, not as strong as those on their face, but still present. When your cat presses their paw against you, they're leaving behind subtle scent markers, pheromones that signal familiarity and belonging. Not ownership in a controlling way, in a connection way. Think about that for a second. In the wild, scent defines everything. Territory, safety, identity. So when your cat marks you, even gently, they're doing something deeply instinctual. They're including you in their world. What this reveals about how your cat sees you is powerful. You're not just someone who feeds them. You're part of their safe territory. And here's where it gets even more meaningful. They don't do this absent-mindedly. They do it when they feel calm, when they feel secure, when they feel like they belong. And hey, if this makes sense to you, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more cat lovers who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. Have you ever seen kittens need their mother, reaching out with their paws, pressing gently, seeking comfort? You might think your adult cat reaching for you is something they just picked up along the way, but here's what's actually happening. This behavior traces back to kittenhood. Kittens use their paws to connect with their mother, to stimulate milk, to feel warmth, to stay close. It's one of the earliest bonding behaviors they develop, and even as adults, that instinct doesn't disappear. It adapts. Behavioral scientists have observed that adult cats often redirect early life bonding behaviors toward humans they trust. So when your cat reaches out and touches you, they're tapping into something ancient, something primal. Think about that for a second. They're treating you like a source of safety, like family. What makes this even more powerful is that this behavior bypasses their usual independence. Cats don't rely on others easily, but in this moment, they are. So the next time your cat places their paw on you, remember, that instinct started long before you ever met them, but now it's directed at you. Have you ever noticed that your cat doesn't reach out to everyone in your home the same way? Maybe they ignore others. Maybe they sit near them, but never touch. Most people assume it's just preference, but here's what's actually happening. Cats are highly selective with physical vulnerability. Reaching out with a paw might seem small, but it requires trust. Their limbs are exposed. Their reaction time is slightly reduced. Their attention is focused on you. And studies on domestic cats reveal that they reserve these vulnerable gestures for individuals they've formed strong bonds with. Think about that for a second. They're choosing you, not randomly, not casually. Deliberately. What this reveals is something most people overlook. Your cat isn't just comfortable around you. They feel safe enough to initiate contact. And here's where most owners get it wrong. They treat that moment like it's no big deal. They keep scrolling on their phone. They shift away. They miss it. But to your cat, that moment was intentional. And it mattered. Have you ever felt your cat rest their paw on you and just leave it there? No movement, no tension, just quiet presence. Most people think it's just a relaxed gesture. But here's what's actually happening. Your cat is entering a vulnerable state. In the wild, stillness combined with physical contact reduces their ability to react quickly. It goes against their survival instincts. And yet, they do it anyway, with you. Think about that for a second. They're choosing connection over caution. This is what most owners never realize. That gentle paw? It's not just a touch, it's a decision to lower their guard, a decision to trust you completely in that moment. And remember earlier when I said, if your cat reaches out and then pulls back when ignored, it means something deeper? This is what I was talking about. If you don't respond, if you stay distant or disengaged, they don't just lose interest. They learn. They learn that reaching out doesn't lead to connection. And slowly, they stop trying. What this reveals is something deeply emotional. Your cat is giving you opportunities to strengthen the bond. And every time you respond, you reinforce it. Every time you don't, it weakens. Just a little. Have you ever realized your cat used to do this more often, and now they don't? It's easy to assume they've just grown out of it, that it's random, that it doesn't matter. But here's what's actually happening. A sudden decrease in reaching behavior can signal emotional or physical change. Behavioral shifts in cats are often subtle. They don't announce discomfort loudly. They withdraw. If your cat stops reaching out, it could mean they feel less secure. They've learned the behavior isn't reciprocated. Or something deeper, like stress or discomfort, is affecting them. Think about that for a second. The absence of that small gesture? It's not small at all. It's information. And this is where urgency matters. Because once a cat stops initiating connection, rebuilding that trust takes time. So, the next time your cat reaches out, don't ignore it. Respond gently. Acknowledge it. Because that moment might not always be there. So when your cat reaches out and places their paw on you, do you actually know what they're trying to say? It's not just affection. It's not just a habit. It's not something random. It's trust. It's vulnerability. It's your cat choosing connection on their terms, in their language. That's not a simple touch. That's your cat lowering their guard and inviting you into their world. And that gentle reach? It was never small to them, and it shouldn't be small to you either.